It is extremely unattractive for an individual in a relationship to come from a space of neediness and lack and limitation and want. You know, it brings a heaviness to the relationship. Will you love me in the morning? Will you call me? Will you be there? And so forth. When in fact that serves as a chain. And in relationships, what we need to look for is not love, but the barriers that we have built against that love. What are the barriers that we have built against that love? Well, number one is believing that love is a prison house. And so what we must be taught is, again, not love, but the prison house we have built to prevent ourselves from experiencing. What is that prison house? That prison house is a set of expectations, of preconceived conclusions, of a prescription of how you should act when we're in public, how we should show up to people, everything. And guess what happens? Everything looks good, everything looks grand on the outside, but when you look deeper into the dynamic of that relationship, much of what that relationship is based upon is fear. And a belief in separation, that I am separate from you, you're separate from me, and we're separate from the universe. And from that, a dynamic of fear is built that only collapses in upon itself, because it has never worked, and it will never work. Because of one fundamental flaw, and forgive me for being verbose here, but for one fundamental flaw, and that is this idea that I can capture love. And I can't. The moment you try to capture love, the moment you try to contain it, the moment you try to define it, label it, or imprison it, is the moment that you've lost an awareness of its presence. I've used the example before, but if I were to say to Max, I want to show you the Niagara Falls. You've never seen Niagara Falls before. I'm going to show it to you. I go and get on a plane and go to Niagara Falls and get a bucket, and I go and pour some water into a bucket, and I bring it back to Max and say, Max, look, here's Niagara Falls. And he looks at it and says, no, this is not Niagara Falls. What is it? It's water in a bucket. Why is this the case? Because you can't capture Niagara Falls. The moment you try to capture it, you've lost it. The same is true with love. The moment you try to capture it, you've lost an awareness of it. It can't be captured. It, very much like ourselves, is free. That we desire to be free in relationships. And so this is the way that we must love others, is love them in a way that they feel free.